हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Rani, Radha Rani. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. We're going to start this time. Hare Krishna. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे वाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So it seems everyone is preparing for the test. I think so. You have to ask them. Because rather than being Bhagavatam conscious, they'll be test conscious. Mhm. So you find out from them what is convenient. And best is to have tests after the teaching. Otherwise it becomes rasabas. Then they won't be able to focus. Even if they sit here, they'll be sitting with their questions and meditating on questions. That's natural psychology. Whenever it's convenient for them. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. So maybe if you're going to postpone the test, maybe you send a message that the test is not today, then at least, uh, so then at least they will come thinking that, okay, at least there's no test today. Hmm? We have a personal philosophy. That's what we were reading yesterday. Prabhupada is writing in that purport, the Lord has feelings. He's a person. So this online business is very impersonal. So if there's no other option, then it's okay, but otherwise we are not promoters of online. And surely not test. So Nimanita Prabhu, we should proceed, right? Okay. Okay, fine. So now, in the last 3 verses, what did we discuss? First 3 verses of the 9th chapter, what did we discuss? I and mind consciousness. So what was the question which Parikshit Maharaj asked? Yes, even though the soul is spiritual, how it comes in contact with the material body, entrapped by the material body. What's the answer Shukdev Goswami is giving? Yes, ultimately is the free will of the jiva by which, yes, the material energy entraps the living entity, Deva Maya. So that's the material energy which entraps the living entity and puts the living entity illusion to think I and mine. Yes, I conception is? No. I conception is Jnanis. The mind conception is Karmis. So amongst the two, which is more dangerous? I. Why? Yes, so he thinks I'm the Lord. That's more dangerous than one simply trying to enjoy this world. So, okay, so the message worked, it looks like. Right. So some allurements are required. Maybe we should offer chandan, garlands. Mahaprasad anyway, all the time it's there. Huh? Yes. No, but maybe we can start it here. Those who come on time will get Mahaprasad. Okay. So anyways, here the Lord is speaking about tapasya. Okay, so in order to establish that, so finally we saw, so there Shukdev Goswami is speaking about the problem of the living entities in this material world. And then finally in the third verse, he also tells what is the solution to this material conception of I and mine. So what is the solution? Yes, when he becomes situated in his constitutional position, then Rameta Gata Sammohas, then he is happy, he enjoys, and he becomes free from the sammoha, the illusion of the conception of I and mine. Oh. अच्छा ऐसा है क्या? Yeah, examination, fear and fever. हाँ? हम मजाक कर रहे हैं. Okay, I think so. Now we have sufficient number for the group work, I think. आएंगे धीरे धीरे, मैसेज पहुंच गया. ठीक है. यहाँ 2 ग्रुप्स हैं ना यहाँ पे. Okay, someone present? क्या? अच्छा चाहिए कि 5 मिनट? वैसे 5 मिनट हो गया. Anyway, चाहिए 5 मिनट? ओके 5 मिनट. जल्दी करो जिनका नहीं हुआ है. हाँ, one from the group can present. Exact 5 minutes we are giving. हरिबो. Sharadpur, your group is missing, it looks like, huh? Or you were only missing, yes? Okay. So, but माधव सुंदर प्रभु है क्या 6 ग्रुप यहाँ पे कल के? अच्छा पूरा. कौन? आदित्य राम प्रभु आ गए ना? अच्छा. हाँ. अच्छा, कोई बात नहीं. आप किसी ग्रुप में जाओ. नहीं तो ज्वाइन करना है तो एक अभी वो तो हाँ हो गया ओके एक मिनट So please appoint one spokesperson for your group. Okay, chalo. बहुत time हो गया. Okay, let's start. First group. हाँ, चैतन्य नित्यानंद. Read the question.
What are the symptoms, consequences, and remedies for the influence of concept of I and mine for individual devotees and ISKCON society as a whole? So now first Prabhuji will tell the influence of mine and its consequences, symptoms and remedies both on individual devotees and society. Then we will discuss I.
अच्छा पहले पहले आया था ठीक है
Now lower stage is mine, so therefore it comes first.
okay so generally in ISKCON society we observe because I'm taking second part the ISKCON society and in any society there we find the people they make their own group they fight with another group groupism we say और जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि गुरु भाई करके सो गुरु
अच्छा है
भाई
ना गुरु भाई, सब गुरु भाई.
हाँ गुरु भाई अच्छा है लेकिन दूसरों के गुरु भाई को फिर एकदम इग्नोर कर देंगे छोड़ देंगे उनको उनके बारे में बिल्कुल केयर नहीं करेंगे है ना अपने गुरु भाई के लिए प्रसाद प्लेट बनाएंगे उनको प्रसाद महाप्रसाद जो बांटा है लाया है धाम से उनको एक्स्ट्रा एक पैकेट देंगे बाकी लोगों को आधा आधा करके दे देंगे
अच्छा ऐसा होता है.
इस प्रकार से तो ग्रुपिज्म and when we go to another temple or any big yatra there also we find this is our temple अपने टेम्पल के डिवोटीज हैं तो दूसरे टेम्पल के डिवोटीज वो भी वैष्णव दोज आर ऑल्सो वैष्णव बट वी डोंट केयर अबाउट देम मच वी डोंट आस्क ऑल्सो देयर वेल बीइंग हालांकि दूसरे जगह पे जा रहे थे उनसे फ्रेंडशिप बनाना चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह बट दिस इज माई कॉन्शियसनेस इज देयर दिस पीपल आर माइन द असेट्स आर माइन the temple is mine the car is given for our preaching project so these assets are mine so in this funda people try to exploit those resources also because that is also mundane consciousness
So how exploitation takes place?
इसमें क्या होता है जनरली कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या है our own project suffers in that we may think that these are our people and these are my people my resources but then this thinking itself is a material thinking mundane thinking so the followers also are getting this kind of wrong thinking and they themselves start doing wrong preaching anti preaching वैष्णव की मर्सी मिस करते हैं गुरु महाराज का और सीनियर वैष्णव की और इसमें ब्लास्फेमी नेचर शुरू हो जाता है जब अपने फॉलोअर्स होते हैं so those try to find faults from another organization also ये बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे लेवल पे देखा जाए अभी जैसे दूसरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो बाबाज होते हैं उनकी फॉल्ट फाइंडिंग करना वो भी स्टार्ट हो जाता है तो बड़े स्पीकर्स भले व्यासासन पे नहीं करते होंगे लेकिन उनके फॉलोअर्स जो है वो तो एकदम खुले आश्रम में चालू कर देते हैं उनका निंदा so that is blaspheming and this shows the narrow mindedness of the speaker also and their followers also so that is the consequence of that so इसके वजह से क्या है इमेच्योर कम्युनिटी धीरे धीरे बिल्डअप होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है चाहे वो कांग्रेगेशन हो या फिर ब्रह्मचारीज भी हो so that whole is immature community फिर इसका रेमेडीज क्या हो सकता है कि रेमेडीज में we should do Harinam
You can
Sankirtan.
tell something more about consequences. So if this is the sort of mentality, what will be the result of that?
Yeah. Consequences उसमें non-cooperative behavior that also starts building up in the same community also. And then because of that, people start leaving their services. They disobey their own authorities also, and they try to join another temple, another authorities. So like that, this happens. Independent mentality, and then this also gives rise to anti-preaching.
Right. Anti-preaching, reduced preaching, no preaching.
No preaching. preaching of our own selves. So in this also mission finally suffers.
Correct.
Whatever the agendas Prabhupada has given, 7 aspects, so purposes, so that goes into background.
Correct. What comes in the foreground?
My
Yes.
personal.
My.
And then remedies for that is cooperation. Prabhupada said that if you can show your love by showing your cooperation amongst devotees, yourself, community. So इसके लिए फिर अलग अलग प्रकार के एजेंडास हैं. Very wonderful agenda Prabhupada has given the service. Do the संकीर्तन daily. So उसमें बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आता है, हरिनाम संकीर्तन भी आता है, बाहर जाके संकीर्तन कर सकते हैं. So अभी गुरु महाराज ने भी कहा है कि हफ्ते में 3 बार तो होना चाहिए करके, लेकिन एक भी बार नहीं होगा तो that is also. And then festivals, we are doing whatever the festivals are there. So those festivals we can organize, we can do services. Generally it has been observed that some temples give the services to other laborers, and then so better is brahmacharis should get together and serve in that festival, in those festivals. So it's a cooperative nature fi devotees ka aayega. The chanting together, participating in Mangal Aarati and other activities together, helping in their crisis, serving prasadam to all lovingly. So these all things are there. Participating in yatra together.
Correct.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, let's show appreciation. Haribo. I was just thinking, I think so we should leave something for the Nityananda group also, right? नहीं तो सर आप ही बोलेंगे तो फिर cooperation कहाँ? What do you say, Aditya Rampru? See, he's very happy. Right. This is perfect cooperation. Please come.
Hare Krishna. So, the symptoms, consequence and remedy regarding the I and my concept that may enter or has entered in individual devotee and ISKCON, that we'll talk about. So first we'll talk about the
तो
devotee.
उनका माइन हो गया तो आप आई से शुरू करें.
Yes, Prabhuji. So when it comes to an individual devotee, then he becomes very destitute. He is not very happy mingling with other devotees. He is quite comfortable in his own group, kind of in an island. He is having his own people. But when it's the time to mingle with other sort of devotees, then he is not confident. He is not happy. And same can be seen when there is a group gathering, maybe in a yatra or services, then he is not comfortable sharing the services. So that can be seen. Also, it can be observed when the devotee is seen in Mangala Aarati and other congregational activities, like when there is a time for dancing, then he will not be happy, he will not be willing to dance. Those who are happy, those who are not having this groupism mentality of I and mine, identifying as the part of the body, they will be very happily dancing in the temple, in Mangala Aarti or Sandhya Aarti. But otherwise, if he is having this conception, then he will not be very jolly and willing to dance. So consequence over that will be that over small trifles, he will start fighting. There should just require a pinch, and then he will be very agitated. For small things, he will be agitated. छोटा सा चीज हो जाएगा, fire, he will become fire. And he won't talk for maybe months or year for small thing. And his consciousness gets polluted. He will always be thinking about those things, always destitute, always very morose because of those small things. So when we are thinking about I and my, then our heart gets shrink, and small things also make a big space. When we are not into this, then even big things don't make space, big space. So what is the remedy for this? So the best remedy is attending sessions like this Bhakti Vaibhav. Because even if we are faintly hearing the sessions, so many points are so strongly put again and again that it will hammer our consciousness, and for the time being at least will be jubilant. It is my personal experience. And Sankirtan is also a very powerful idea. We can go on Harinam Sankirtan, and it can be assisted by book distribution. Book distribution is vigorously going on, but Harinam Sankirtan is put in background. But Harinam Sankirtan can be put in foreground, and it can be assisted by book distribution. And Srimad Bhagavatam reading together beyond the Prabhupada says beyond caste creed, so it can be beyond group at least. In any group, today in this group, in room, today in that room, in some room we should sit together and read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Room, yeah, not group. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
So I was approaching this thing from a different angle. Prabhuji has approached from. So this I concept is actually first of all carried by us from our pre-devotional life, like we are thinking I am this body, and on the basis of that we can do several mistakes and we can do take several actions, symptoms of which is like we are trying still in the devotional atmosphere also we are thinking as ourselves as body and trying to gather sense gratification objects. So that can be one of the symptoms, and then consequences will be we will not be absorbed properly in this devotional process, like hearing, chanting and like that. And one of the thing is as we will progress, so we can come to this point that we can start to think ourselves better than our gurus, and we can maybe in some more extra we can think ourselves as equal as Srila Prabhupada or as our acharyas. So that can be one dangerous symptom of this, and then the consequences will be immediate fall down, not just ours but the followers who so-called followers whom we have gathered, they will also fell down along with us. And remedy I think will be like the morning program that Prabhupada has given, which is Mangal Aarti and Guru Puja especially, in which we offer flower to Srila Prabhupada, pay obeisances, and so by that we can be saved, and also paying obeisances to senior devotees regularly, to our gurus, other gurus, Shiksha gurus like that. So we can, by following proper Vaishnava etiquettes and behavior, so we can limit that mentality that can cripple inside our mind that we are equal to them or greater than them. So that is one of the way. And other than that, properly reading about the Sambandha Gyan of ourselves with Krishna and plus spiritual master's positions, we can hear regularly about his position that he is as equal as God. So by that we can try to prevent such mentality from coming inside our mind. Yes.
Yes.
So that you read the translation, and then from that verse
Text 4, translation. O King, the personality of Godhead, being very much pleased with Lord Brahma because of his non-deceptive penance in Bhakti Yoga, presented his eternal and transcendental form before Brahma, and that is the objective goal for purifying the conditioned soul. So here the principle mentioned is between spiritual master and disciple, this non-deceptive penance is mentioned. Like the disciple should be like non-duplicitous. Like we should not be just do external show off. We should be really from practice seriously. The challenge is like we may be doing one thing in front and doing some other thing behind. So that is a challenge. uh, and the solution is we should like we should be seriously practicing all these standards given by Prabhupada, this morning program, reading Prabhupada books, hearing from Prabhupada, all these things.
This because Brahma was given the knowledge directly from the Lord himself, considering Lord as the spiritual master. One of the principles is mentioned in the beginning that how the Lord become pleased with the penance of Brahma. So our motive should be to please the spiritual master. Then in the purport, Prabhupada is telling about Atma Tattva. So clarifying that how Sukadeva Goswami is clarifying the misconception about Atma Tattva. So one of the duty of the spiritual master mentioned that he is clarifying the position of the disciple, that what he is supposed to do, what is his constitutional position. Then another thing is mentioned in the purport regarding the discussion between the spiritual master and disciple, how the discussion between the Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami centered around the Bhagavatam. So this should be the center between the discussion of center of discussion between the Guru and the disciple about the Bhagavatam. Then one more principle is mentioned, that how spiritual master trains in Bhakti Yoga, and that's the objective goal for purifying the conditioned soul. So the purification of conditioned soul happen but when the relationship between the Guru and the disciple is established. So conditioned soul purification should happen. So this is also another principle. Now challenges which can be faced, that are we pleasing his spiritual master or not? We may do lot of activities, but expectation of a spiritual master or order is something else. And we do because we like to do some activities because of our nature or because of our own likings. We don't want to extend beyond our limits. Like a spiritual master says that you go for the book distribution, and one may think that okay, I'll do some deity worship, something like that. So we have to extend our limits, or we have to go beyond our own thinking, that this is called advancement. We follow the spiritual master. Second, non-deceptive penance in Bhakti Yoga. So the sincerity is required, and one has to be very clear that what is the instruction given by the master. Even though nobody is there to observe, Chaitya Guru is there, Super Guru is there, he is observing. So non-deceptiveness is required. Otherwise, one gradually may be out of the Bhakti Yoga also. That can also the possibility is there. Then the discussion should not be some materially things oriented, as their discussion oriented around Bhagavatam, and purification of conditions should happen. So it's not happen that the discussion which are happening, they are just material facilities or about the material life, and his material attachments are increasing after those discussions. His material life is more facilitated after those discussions. Yeah. So, and the remedies are, so for are we pleasing his spiritual master or not? Of course, so many things are there that one feels the taste of hearing, reading, chanting increases, and one feels more enlivened in Krishna consciousness. In simple activities, he will do with more joy. Apart from that, one more point I'd like to add, which mentioned by Shalswarup Maharaj in his book of appreciation, Prabhupada appreciation, that he writes that the services which we are doing, if we are trying to please, of course, there he mentions Prabhupada. So in case of spiritual master, same thing. The services which are trying to do and sincerely to please the spiritual master, it will not please, it will be shown by that how the other devotees are also around are pleased. That is one of the symptoms, that are we pleasing spiritual master or not. And then the other things, duplicity means there should feedback should be there. At least if the guru is not available, then of course we have always the authorities or the seniors. So we should be, if you are sincere enough, you can go and ask how my reading, hearing, chanting is going on. You're observing from so many days. So please give me some feedback so that I can advance. So this is it.
Actually, we individually divided slokas among group members. So, if
Yes. Lord Brahma, the first spiritual master supreme in the universe, could not trace out the source of his lotus seed. And while thinking of creating the material world, he could not understand the proper direction for such creative work, nor could he find out the process of such creation. So Prabhupada mentioned in the purport at the last of the para, one who knows the Supreme knows everything else. That is a version of the Vedas. Even the first spiritual master of the universe was enlightened by the grace of the Lord. So who else can attain perfect knowledge of everything without the mercy of the Lord? So without the mercy, although knowledge is there, one may can have, one can become read Shastras personally. But unless the mercy is transferred from the spiritual master, from Krishna to spiritual master and through us, then the knowledge is not revealed in our heart. It will not become practical in our life. So the previous principle only, unless we are endeavoring to please our authorities, our Vaishnavas, spiritual master, that desire is not there. Then services are not result in effect the purification in our heart. That effect is not there. So with this desire, initially we say the challenges are there because we have limitations and different things. We try to render service grudgingly, dutifully, but if we continue to do our services, as spiritual master says, continue for a long time, then gradually heart get purified, and the same service we come to the platform of doing it. Let us do now for the pleasure, although difficulties are there, here, there, or previously also there. But again, I have to do it only. Now do it in a better consciousness. So that manifests if we continue to the instruction. 6, 7.
Text 6. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji heard twice from near 2 syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. This verse mainly talks about Brahmaji did a tapasya. He heard the word tapa and did tapasya. And what is the relation between here spiritual master and disciple? Is that it's mentioning if one who performs a tapasya, he can be called as human being. Otherwise, he is simply like an animal. Prabhupada literally writes here, this tapasya was begun from the very beginning of the creation, and it was first adapted by the supreme spiritual master Lord Brahma. Somebody can say, why tapasya is not, if spiritual master says, if somebody does tapasya, then the Supreme Lord will be pleased. And here Brahmaji did the tapasya and Lord got pleased and he initiated him from within the heart. And the challenge is here, somebody may take that I will also do tapasya and I will also get initiation from the Lord directly. But Prabhupada mentioned that in order to get the initiation, one should approach the current link. Literally, it says current link is a very specific keyword here. We should approach the current Guru Shishya Parampara, and one should get initiation. And the next is, when he heard the sound, he tried to find a speaker, searching on all sides. But when he was unable to find anyone besides himself, he thought it is wise to sit down on his lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of penance, as he was instructed. Here also same thing. Prabhupada mentioned that one should get into the authentic Guru Parampara. There he will get the knowledge. The ways to overcome is one should regularly read Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees under the guidance of spiritual master.
Hare Krishna. So this is the 8th verse. Lord Brahma underwent penances for 1000 years by the calculation of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky and he accepted it as divine. Thus he controlled his mind and senses, and the penances he executed was a great lesson for the living entities. Thus he is known as the greatest of all ascetics. So here there are, as cooperation, I'll just speak one or two principles. Okay. So they cover the rest. The other group is also there on this. No? Gadadhar group. वो भी ग्रुप है इसलिए एक पॉइंट बोल देता. हाँ. So 2 people are there. Anyway, so here important point Prabhupada mentions in the purport of principle that receiving of the transcendental sound vibration or receiving the transcendental message has to be from authorized souls, authorized bona fide parampara, not from unauthorized sources. Though the message may be right, but still it has to be accepted from authorized sources, not from unauthorized sources. And the challenge is always there that we want to hear from various other sources because there is a lot of mal masala there, which will help us in our preaching and our classes and all. But be careful; it has to be from a proper authorized source only, bona fide source only. That is the main key point of this principle. The challenge. आप लोग कहाँ? अच्छा, आप है? बता.
Yes. This is from 9th verse. Hare Krishna. 9th verse, translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being thus very much satisfied with penance of Lord Brahma, was pleased to manifest his personal abode, Vaikuntha, the supreme planet above all others. This transcendental abode of Lord is adored by all self-realized persons, freed from all kinds of miseries and free and fear of illusory existence. So here the principle of tapasya is mentioned, penance. And we can see the example of this where Lord Shiva mentions that I am pleased with your penance. Sorry, prachitas. For prachitas. So they cooperated and did penance, then Lord become pleased. Similarly, when we do our tapasya, penance in our devotional service, then spiritual master and Lord both get pleased and they reveal their abode. Or we can say that we can go to back to Godhead. So challenges comes in this that I personally observed in my life. that whenever I try to do the tapasya, I see the other devotees. They are not doing tapasya. So why should I do? so, so negative inspiration. But I am giving the solution for this, that we have to regularly read about these tapasya principles, because without tapasya we cannot able to succeed in devotional path. Yeah. Uh, for personal level, greatest tapasya is that cooperation among the devotees. So it will have to there we have to bow down, or there we have to crush our ego or become humble. So that is the greatest tapasya, because big tapasyas on the bodily platform or other platform anybody can do, but here the tapasya of false ego, curbing our own false ego, that is great tapasya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the next question is about mention some of the principal characteristics of Vaikuntha Loka and ways to create Vaikuntha atmosphere in ISKCON. So I'll be covering the principal characteristics right from the translation. I mean, you need not read the translation because translation is as good as the characteristics. So the previous 9th verse was talking about how the Lord revealed the spiritual world. So now this is how the description comes. So the supreme planet. No, it's just a synopsis, just some main points. So the Vaikuntha Loka is described as a supreme planet, and which is adored by self-realized persons. It is free from suffering, confusion, fear of offenses, influence of the three modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, free from the influence of time, and free from the influence of Maya or illusion. So the Vaikuntha Loka is something where the Supreme Lord is in the center, like that. Hare Krishna.
See, characteristic, you say something, then you say one point for the next question. Some ways to create Vaikuntha atmosphere. So that also you tell one. That whole point you might have.
Yeah. So basically, keeping Lord in the center.
Okay.
So in our
So what does it mean to keep Lord in the center?
Keeping Lord in the center is being conscious that the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer of all our austerities, activities, like how you say, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam. So one has to be conscious of it during executing our devotional service, not thinking of oneself as an enjoyer or running behind name, fame, glory, etc. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Haribo.
I just want to read from the Nectar of Instruction 4, the purport that the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate 6 kind of loving exchanges amongst devotees.
Okay, so you're answering the
Second point, that there must be the 6 kind of loving reciprocation. Srila Prabhupada ji mentions about the life membership program and festivals. During festivals, the life member donors, they give and take. So there must be a loving reciprocation amongst devotees. And I also want to mention one more point. Like we hear that in Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Devi sweeps, in Vaikuntha planet, Lakshmi Devi sweeps the floor, even though there are no dust in the Vaikuntha planet. So amongst the 7 purposes of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada ji mentions about the service, the 4th point, service attitude. So we must we must agree to do some menial seva, small seva. अरे ये छोटा सेवा मैं तो बहुत बड़ा preacher हूँ. That attitude should not be there. We should try to be humble enough to do any kind of seva that is given by our authority.
So he spoke about the Vaikunta planet, like they are free from the influence of three modes of material modes. There is no influence of time and illusion. So with that regards, in terms of ISKCON scenario, so devotees should be preached and they should practice to rise above material modes by being engaged in devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord, like keeping all our activities centered around the deities. Like it is meant for their pleasure, be it Harinams, book distribution, to bring out the glories of Prabhupada and for the pleasure of Radha Raspberry. Next is inhabitants of Vaikunta. So glowing sky bluish complexion, lotus-eyed, dressed in yellow garments, youthful, effulgent, having a pleasing demeanor, four-handed and decorated with shining earrings, crowns and garlands. So devotees can in terms of dealings, Vaishnava etiquettes, dress code, and Utsaha, Nishchay, Dhairya. So they should always be very much enthusiastic in all their services, in their dealings. So ultimately it will bring out that Vaikuntha atmosphere. Third is the sight of Vaikuntha planet, with its inhabitants traveling with their concerts and shining airplanes, resembles the sky filled with clouds and flashing lights. So basically, like in terms of temple should be very opulent, clean, gorgeous, and best of materials and equipment should be used. So like Radha Raspberry temple in itself, like everything in this. Vaikuntha atmosphere, like they should understand that it's for the pleasure of the Lord. It is not that simply Lord is not ordinary. That's right. So and everything very much natural materials like stone and everything gold plated. Just we have whatever possible to make. Mother Lakshmi is engaged sometimes in serving the Lord lotus feet and at other times singing the Lord glories. So the atmosphere should be throughout the day. There should be worship of the Lord going on, like 24 hours Harinam Kirtan, Kathas. All festivities should be celebrated very vibrantly, enthusiastically, with all devotees participating. Should continue.
In Vaikuntha atmosphere, there is no envy among each other, and everyone thinks he is the servant and others are masters. That is the spiritual consciousness, and whatever activity we do, that is for the pleasure of the Lord.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada said in one lecture that Vaikuntha consciousness means to think other is Prabhu and I am his servant. So when we have knowledge that we are, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jivere Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. We are servant. And in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes in purport that to remember I am servant of Krishna, just by remembering this, one can become free from all suffering and everything else. In Bhagavatam also somewhere Prabhupada writes. So, this, yes, and this characteristics of Vaikuntha, many points I remembered, but one point is very amazing. I heard one devotee was giving example. He said, if somebody is rich, then he will build a big house for him, like Ambani built this Antalya or something. So Supreme Lord, he has all the opulence, he is source of everything. So he has built Vaikuntha planet for himself, and Brahmaji has given the description. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vriksha Lakshmi sahasra sat sambrama sevyamanam. His abode is made of wish-fulfilling gems. And there are so many thousands of Lakshmi. This goddess of fortune is engaged in serving Lord, and there are Kalpa Vriksha, and there is also Surbhi cows, which can supply unlimited amounts of milk. So, Supreme Lord is creator of everything, and in the first verse, Vyasdev says, Janma Adi Asyataha. Krishna is the source of everything. Everything is emanating from him. So, we can't imagine how much opulence or how many things he has. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's